channel, or if you're new here, my name is Nicole, and I thought I would do a little story time. So this is a little different than what I normally do on my channel. I normally do vlogs, lifestyle, teaching content, that kind of stuff. But right now at my church, we are doing a series called like My Story, Your Story, the Gospel, like just sharing your story about how you like came to know Jesus and everything. So I am not comfortable. Where I live is like a small hometown. So like everyone knows each other, and it's just, I don't know why, but like that just gives me kind of like gets me really nervous, just like telling people my story in front of everyone. But for some reason, I'm more comfortable sharing it on YouTube and telling people I don't even know. So, so that's what we're doing today. Fun times. But, so that's what we're doing. I am driving, so this is probably really unsafe for me to do, but we'll see if we get through it or not. If we don't get through it, then we don't get through it. But if we do, we do. Cool. So anyways, so let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm kind of doing a little different because how my story, like how I came to know Jesus, is it isn't like the most like interesting thing, like I've never been to jail, I've never, like I'm not addicted to drugs or alcohol, like that kind of thing. And I grew up like in I don't want to say I didn't grow up in a Christian home, but it was more of like, yes, we went to church and like we would talk about God and everything, but like it's not like really like a firm Christian home is how you would identify it. So anyway, so I got baptized when I was a sophomore in high school. But I kind of want to talk about just what God has taught me this past school year and just the things that I've been through. So real quick, if you didn't know, I went to college to be a teacher. I graduated in May of 21. I got a job right out of college at a corporation next to my hometown. And then I ended up teaching 4th grade. It was just kind of like a long-term sub situation because I hadn't passed all my licensure exams, and the school was like, okay, we'll give you a year to pass your exams. If you don't, then we are gonna have to move on, and then maybe down the road if something comes up and you pass, we'll hopefully can hire you full-time. So I understood the situation. I was really grateful because some schools like don't even do that for you. Like if you just don't pass it, then like you just can't teach. So I was grateful for that. But so May of 22, I took my exam, my last exam I needed to pass before the end of the school year. That's like the last chance because you can only take it every 30 days. And unfortunately, I did not pass, and so, the school corporation said, okay, we can't hire you full-time right now, but maybe if you do pass, then something will, and if something comes up, hopefully we can get you in. For some reason, nowhere around me in the state of Indiana was having the licensure exam in June, so I couldn't take it in June. I had to take it in July of 2022. I passed, finally, and it was like middle July when I finally passed. And so I'm like emailing the school, and I was like, hey, I finally passed. I'm emailing other schools around me, and I'm like, I finally passed my license, like my last test, like I'm a licensed teacher now, going to be. And sadly, that school did not have a spot open for me in the corporation, which understandable. And so I was going really back and forth on what I wanted to do. Subs are needed desperately, and the school corporation, like the county I live in, they up their pay for like licensed teachers for for sub pay. So I was like, okay, maybe I can just sub and then hopefully something will, I was gonna sub in both corporations. I was like, maybe something will open up and then I kind of have a good foot in the door. Well, then a girl at my church, she was like, well, let me talk and everything, figure out. Well, the principal at one of the elementary schools in my county, there's 2 elementary schools, and one of them reached out, is needing aides, and aides are like desperately needed too. Schools always need aides and subs. Let's just be honest, aides are very underpaid. You think teachers are underpaid? There's no way I could be able to afford to live on my own with as an aide pay. Like, it was that bad. And I work at Dollar General on top of it 2 days every other week, and I was just like barely scraping by, like barely. Sorry, I forgot about that hole there. Rough. So anyway, so I finally accepted to be an aide, and I was just, I felt so embarrassed. I cried and cried and cried over it, because it's like, this isn't what I went to school to be. I went to school to be a teacher, not to be an aide. And I just felt so embarrassed by it. Like, everyone else in my class was teaching, you know, just seeing them on social media and their lives, and it was just, it was hard to watch. And, you know, I just didn't really understand, like, why God was doing this. And so then, a day before school started, our school corporation started, a county like 40 minutes away from me posted that they need a 3rd grade teacher. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply for it, whatever, because I just don't want to be an aide. Like I could not stand the thought of me just being an aide. And yeah, I just can't handle it. So then, so anyways, I had a job interview, like, so obviously, you know, staff always goes back like the day or 2 before the kids do. So I actually had a job interview with that school the day, after the first day for the teacher. Staff was over, and then school started on like a Wednesday. Finally, Friday that week, I heard back from the school and they offered me the job. And I was like, okay, like, this is good, you know, like, this is like what I want to do. Well, then I got to thinking, and then after just those 3 short days, guys, I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave that school. I didn't want to leave the teachers I was working with, like, did not want to leave them at all. And I just think that's like, so I ended up turning down a teaching job to stay as an aide. I couldn't believe it. So it was just, I don't know, it's just so wild how like that like turn of events happened in my life. And then, as you know, one of the 3rd grade teachers, I feel like the story is like all over the place, so I really hope I'm making sense. But anyways, this 3rd grade teacher, she was pregnant, and so she had a baby, and I ended up doing her maternity leave, if you remember. And so I got to do maternity leave, and that was awesome. Like, I did it from like February 15th until like April 21st, so like a little over 2 months I was there, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So then I kind of had to transition back into being an aide again. Then my life, guys, like, it's just, I can't even make it up. I feel like half the time, like, my life, like, people are always like, yeah, boyfriend. No, because my life is just interesting by myself. I was like, no. The principal, one of the 2nd grade teachers at our school, needed to take FMLA for the rest of the school year. And so he was like, hey, instead of just getting a sub, would you want to do it for the rest of the school year? And I felt bad telling him no, because like, people pleaser. Like, let's be honest, I'm a people pleaser. 2, I knew he would really probably be in a pickle if I didn't accept it. Like, it would be really hard for him to find somebody, and everything. So I said yes. So I started this position in 2nd grade on Thursday. So I'm filming this on Saturday. I started it on Thursday. And I was so sad to be leaving the 3rd grade team, guys, and the 4th grade. And I just think, like, I laughed and cried at the same time at God, because I was like, I didn't even want this position to begin with, and now I'm crying because I'm leaving this position and leaving these teachers and kids that I made connections with to go with these kids. And I'm extremely, like, grateful for this opportunity to be in 2nd grade, to get more experience. It's not that, it's just, you know, like, it's funny when you, like, didn't even want something in life and God put you in that, but you didn't want it, and now that I'm taken out of it, I'm so sad because I want to be back in that again. And I just think that, you know, I just, through all of that last July and August, I just really struggled with just being an aide, or not finding it, and not understanding what God was wanting to do with my life. And all along, like, he had it under control clearly. Like, he knew what I needed, knew what my heart needed, but what I needed, and he provided. But to me, I didn't think he did. I never thought not that he wasn't listening, like, I never feel like he wasn't listening. It's just, he just wasn't understanding, I guess, like, what I was wanting. And, you know, that's kind of more of like, okay, it doesn't really matter what you want, it's what God wants and what he's doing in your life at the moment. And so, yeah, that's kind of it. Like, that's just kind of my story. And, like, I feel like what God has taught me this school year is that he's got it under control. He knows my plans. He is going to be with me every step of the way. And at the end of the day, he's going to do what's best for me, whether I realize it or not. And that is what I realized, is that he knew what he was doing, and he knew it was a good plan. It's just, I didn't think it was, because it's not maybe your traditional track and everything. So, yeah, I hope this story made sense, and I hope this is just a reminder, if you're a Christian, that, you know, God is listening, and, you know, he always will have something bigger and better than what you think you might have planned in your life, because I definitely needed that reminder in my life. But yeah, so that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I made it through the video.